The first time it happens, you think you're going to die. It is terrifying. It has happened to me probably 3 or 4 times. Hey folks, I've had my Tesla Model Y now for about 4 months, and I've put on a little over 7,500 kilometers. And I thought it'd be a good time to do a review of the car pretty thoroughly, end to end. I've had time now to, really experience the car and learn about a number of things that are really great and I love, and a few things that I don't love that much and would change if I could. So, just to review, if you haven't watched a video yet, I have a 2021 long-range Tesla Model Y dual motor in white with white interior, and I also had the full self-driving package as well. I did a separate video on the full self-driving, and if it's worth the money, if you want to watch that, you can click the card at the top of your screen. I did have paint protection film, the Expel Stealth, put on the whole car, which gives it a matte satin kind of finish, and as an added bonus to me, protects the car from rock chips and other stuff. We also blacked out the front Tesla logo and switched the rear Tesla logo for the Tesla letters, and switched out the dual motor badge for the SpaceX badge. It's super nerdy, I know. Also, I got the standard 19-inch Gemini wheels with the car. I know everything on the car is either matte black or matte white, so the shiny silver wheels don't really make a lot of sense, and I definitely want to have them replaced with some matte black wheels. I haven't decided yet, 19-inch or 20-inch, but I do want to, that's kind of the remaining thing that I would like to get done. On the inside of the car, I did do a couple of accessories, but they're super important in my opinion. I did put a screen protector on the large screen in a matte finish. There's so many fingerprints, so it really helps cut down on that. Also, if the sun is just right, the glare off the screen is really, really bright, so the matte finish on the screen protector cuts that down big time. Same with the center console. As part of my PPF package, they also did the center console in a matte finish, which I think looks really good. You can see around the edge that you can see where some of the shiny piano black is coming through. In addition to the center console, they also wrapped the door sills on the front and rear doors, which is really great actually, because with kids climbing in, it'll protect that paint there too. So that's a little added bonus. I also got the Tasmanian floor mats, which I can't say enough how great they are. They have really high sidewalls, and this winter, which we've just been through, the 4 months I've owned the car has been all winter. They did a great job. I just cleaned the car top to bottom today, and there is no salt, anything that got underneath or around those mats. The carpet underneath the mats is perfect still, so I'm really happy with them, and I think in Canada that is a must-buy accessory. The last thing I did on the interior was a ceramic coat on the white seats. The white interior has really held up great over the last 4 months. Normally in these back seats there are 2 car seats. I took those out and cleaned the car today just to see what the seats look like underneath after having the car seats on them, and they look great, honestly. I do use a white bath towel underneath the car seats. I was afraid some of the car seat protectors are black, and I was afraid they might transfer the dye onto the white seats, so I just used a white bath towel, and that seems to have worked really, really well. Having the white seats and 2 kids, I think, is a bit of a bold move, but it was one that I was willing to do. One thing, if you are going to get white seats, I definitely recommend the ceramic coat. What it does is it makes the seats come clean really easily. Like, the kids' feet are all against the back of my seat and my wife's seat, and they're covered in mud, but since they were ceramic coated, all it takes is a wipe of a wet cloth and it comes off perfectly clean. So I would really recommend the floor mats and ceramic coating the seats. Even if they're black, I would ceramic coat them. If you have kids, I think the ceramic coat for $50 is just it's a no-brainer. From a storage standpoint, the car does have a lot of storage. The rear trunk is pretty spacious. You do have to watch, because the roof slopes pretty significantly at the back. You can't have anything too tall, and if you are filling the car up really full, you need to close the lift gate really kind of slowly and carefully so you can be sure that it won't be hitting the glass. The sub trunk, which is where I mainly just keep the Tesla charging accessories, it's quite large, quite a large space, and is really great for groceries and things like that. So I'll go over first the things I love about the car, and then I'll get into the few things that I do not love about the car. So charging was something that I was probably the most anxious about. It's so different from your standard gas car. It's just so easy. You're so used to the lifestyle of, if I need gas, I go, I fill up, I carry on. You don't even think about it anymore. And it's a pretty big step, a pretty big change. It's not any more work with an electric car, but it's just different. You need to be thinking about your next day, how much charge you might need. Because if you can avoid, charging the battery to 100% every day, then, it's pretty well documented that you should. So you just have to think that through. You have to make sure you plug in the car. You remember to plug in the car, because if you wake up and you have 20%, it's going to take some time, unless you go to a supercharger, it's going to take some time to get that back. It isn't as quick as just going to a gas station. So it does take some preparation. But overall, I can say it's a breeze. It's an absolute breeze. If you're worried about charging, it's different. It's totally different, but it's totally easy. I did have the NEMA 1450 plug installed in my garage by an electrician, and that I can't recommend enough. The car charges pretty quickly with that. I've never had a problem, especially overnight. You're gonna have no problem charging at all with that. Overall, the car is very safe. I went into that in detail in another video, but the car is extremely safe. And that's super important, especially with kids in the car. So from a driving standpoint, there's the few things I love about the car. Number one, how quiet it is. There is some wind noise on the highway. I don't think there's any more wind noise than we have in our Murano that we drive. I really love the autopilot, auto lane change features for on the highway. It makes driving so much more relaxing. The car is obviously pretty fast. It's very peppy. It is fun to drive. The maps and the GPS on the car are really great. I've never had a car where the graphics on the GPS and that are so smooth. It's very high. It just seems really high end and really nice. The sound system and the sound options in the car are excellent. I'm a big music fan, so I love Spotify, and to have Spotify integrated into the car is so awesome. It has all your podcasts, your music, everything. I just love it. Of course, in addition, it has the kind of built-in streaming network as well as radio, or you can use your phone. I've never had the need to use my phone, and I've never listened to the radio because Spotify seems to just have everything that I need. The sound itself is excellent. There's a number of speakers throughout the car, and it just sounds great. I'd say overall, the best thing, most important thing from a driving standpoint is the one pedal driving. It is something that you get used to very, very quickly, and when you get in a conventional car, you immediately miss it. And all of a sudden, going from the gas pedal to the brake and back to the gas pedal is a huge inconvenience. You get used to that one pedal. If you want to go faster, you push. If you want to go slower, you push less. It's genius, and honestly, that would be probably one of the largest reasons why I couldn't switch back to a conventional car. I could probably live without autopilot. I could live without the speed and the performance, which is amazing, but I don't think I could live without one pedal driving. Obviously, the infotainment system in the car is, well, it's the only thing in the car. It's that one large screen. It has everything you need on that screen, everything from your driving settings to the way the car handles and performs to music, to the air conditioning and the heating. It's all on the screen, and it's all very easy to use and intuitive. You learn it very, very quickly, and I just really like it. Another added bonus is never going to gas stations again. Once you own an electric car, you realize just how disgusting gas stations really are. And I understand how snobby that sounds. It's just true. So now to the not so great part. As much as I love this car, there are a few things that I would change or that really should be improved in the future model. Number one, the ride of the car is extremely firm. I don't think this can be understated, and I think it's really important if you're considering buying a Model Y and you really need or like a soft ride, then this car is not for you. I've gotten used to it, but I'm not gonna lie, it's firm, and I would consider in the future replacing the suspension for something that's a bit softer. The front trunk or the frunk, it's great for space. It's perfect for takeout food. Your car will never smell like Chinese food or pizza again. But what I would change is I would make it automatic. Right now, to open the frunk, you can either push the button on the screen or open the app and press the button in the app. But it just unclicks like a regular hood, and you manually open it and then you manually have to close it. A couple of reasons. It's kind of inconvenient when your hands are full, when you've taken stuff out of the frunk and now you want to walk away. You have to put all that stuff down on the ground, especially if it's food. Something you don't really want to do, so you can close the frunk. Also, doing that, you have to be extra careful because the hood is made of aluminum, so it bends very easily. So when you close the front trunk, there's actually instructions in the manual on how to do it properly so you don't bend the hood. It just seems really a delicate thing that I'd rather it just be automatic, and then you don't have to worry about bending it or opening or closing it properly. The other thing is the white seats. As much as I love the white seats, I do have to admit they are pretty high maintenance. I do clean them fairly often, and there is definitely some transfer of blue from jeans onto the driver's seat. I try, even with the ceramic coat that I put on it, you still see it. I try to keep it clean. I think it will come off. I don't want to do a very deep clean because it will take off the ceramic coat as well. I will probably do that in a couple of months, where I'll use a good alcohol and some degreaser on the seats and clean them up really, really good and see if the blue comes off. I think it will. I don't know. It's pretty mild, but it is there. Another minor thing that is kind of annoying, when the driver gets out of the car shuts off. So if you have passengers in the car or kids in the car, the screen will go black, and if the person has gone long enough, the doors will lock. You can leave the climate control on, which works great and I use all the time. So it would be nice if there was also a button to leave the car and the screen on, as well as the climate. And the last thing that I really don't like about the car, and it's the biggest thing, and it is terrifying, is phantom braking. When you're on autopilot, because the computer system is still in development, every now and then the car will see a shadow or something that it thinks is another car, and you'll be going at full highway speeds and the car will slam on the brakes. The first time it happens, you think you're going to die. It is terrifying. It has happened to me probably 3 or 4 times. I know that's something that they've worked on the forever coming upgrade to autopilot with the full self-driving beta, which isn't released here yet. But that is, I have to mention phantom braking as something that definitely needs to be fixed. And as I understand it, it is being fixed. So that's my review after 4 months of owning the Tesla Model Y. Really appreciate you sticking around this long if you have, and thanks for watching.